Welcome back to the Her Fertility podcast. Today, I am super jazzed to be joined by the queen of fertility coaches, Elizabeth King, and we are going to dive into an amazing new product and service that she has available. I'm so excited to share this with you. Welcome to Her Fertility, the podcast revolutionizing the way women are supported on their fertility journey. I'm your host, Jess Tims. With years of supporting women as a fertility doula, I've seen the emotional pain caused by infertility, including my own struggle with unexplained infertility. And I always knew there had to be a better way to support women with their fertility health and healing. This podcast goes so much deeper than anything you can search for online. Welcome, Elizabeth, and thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here to talk to you again and to also talk about Emerson.
Yeah, when I saw Emerson come out, I was like, oh, this is so needed. I'm super excited for it. And yeah, the last time we talked, we were chatting all about fertility Reiki. So this will be a little bit of a shift.
Yes, all things fertility, I love to talk about.
If you are not familiar with Elizabeth, I would say you're one of the founding support people, and you were such an encouragement to me years ago. If somebody's not familiar with what a fertility coach is, or they've, never really heard of this type of support, do you mind walking me through what that is?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, surprisingly, most people still don't know what a fertility coach is. And I think that's part of the benefit of having these types of conversations is just to let people know it is a thing and there's people out here to help you and you don't have to walk this journey alone. And it looks different for every coach that you may be working with, just like a therapist, right? You want to interview them, you want to make sure that you feel aligned with their energy and what their philosophy is about coaching in general, and then specific to your fertility journey. But the way that I work, that's a little bit different, I would say, from other coaches maybe, is that I really focus on first the science and the physical aspect of your body. We want to make sure that we're not working against blocked tubes or something that's structural that's going on. So we want to really eliminate anything from that nature to begin with. And then we go into the holistic aspect of bridging that science with the soul and spirituality into that. So I really believe that we can't talk without one without the other. And if we are speaking to a doctor or a coach or somebody, and we're just going down the lines of data and science, and we're not looking at anything else, we're really doing ourselves a disservice and taking a lot longer to get to what our outcome would be, which is a healthy live birth. So that's kind of how I differ in my coaching. I also work with people on a daily basis if needed, just based on my own experience of going through different experiences in my life where I was working with a therapist and you're there Tuesdays at 10 and then you're just about to get to where you really need to talk, and then they're like, see you next week. And that's not how the world of fertility works. Every other day you're waiting for test results or figuring something out. Maybe your period just started and you're feeling super down and you need somebody to talk to that day, or you got a positive pregnancy test and you want to shout it to everybody that day as well. So the way that I open myself up to my clients is a little unique in that way, is that it's very cyclical based on what they're going through. So it could be daily, it could be weekly. It just depends on where they're at with their journey.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful approach. And I feel like, that's really what sets you apart from what a therapist would be or some other type of support would be, where fertility is its own journey and everybody's journey is different, and there's no one size, approach to it. There's nothing that's going to solve it for everyone. So I feel like it's such a beautiful feminine way to approach it, and that is really special.
Yeah, again, being through it, being in those situations on my own, whether it was going through a divorce and having a meltdown at, Tuesday morning and couldn't talk to somebody, or, my own fertility journey or losses, it's like life doesn't wait for your appointments to happen, so I really feel like having that person on the line is helpful in those
Yeah.
crisis moments.
Yeah. And I know you see it with fertility, there are things that can hit you so unexpectedly at different times, and you might be going throughout your day and you're feeling good, and then something just throws you totally off, and having that support is so important.
The amount of times that people will leave me messages saying like, I thought I worked through this, I thought I was good, and
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's part of it, right? That's
Yeah.
just life, and that's okay. And knowing that you have somebody to hold you and hold the space for you through that really helps.
Yeah, so beautiful. And I think it's, if somebody is listening to this and they are experiencing infertility, and you feel like you can't handle it all and you're having this day or this moment, like, know that that's okay. And there are people like us who are here to support you through that. And that's how you get through this journey, right? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be all on your own.
Yeah, I think we're so used to personal trainers or business coaches and
Yeah.
soccer coaches or whatever it is that you grow up with. And the idea of having somebody to coach you through something else in life is still a new idea. And when you really think about it, you're like, why wouldn't I have somebody coach me through this? Because we were not trained in this growing up. Nobody
Yeah.
was speaking about these sort of things. So the fact that you have somebody there that does know and is able to help you advocate for yourself and is able to help you understand your medications and the process you're going through really is needed.
Yes, I totally agree. And I feel like, even with social media, and we have all these avenues to connect, right, with other
Hmm.
people, but with infertility specifically, it's so personal, and it can be something like you don't want to share with people who are close to you or your family, or you're just not there yet with it.
Hmm.
And so having a coach is somebody who you can trust in, who gives you that capacity and that space, but isn't so tied personally, which is really beautiful too.
For sure. Again, another thing I hear all the time and was my own situation, quite honestly, was not sharing with my family because I just wasn't prepared to answer the questions. And I didn't know what it meant for me, let alone to try to articulate to my mom who was going to like really not understand and ask me 1,000 questions. And so it's that person other than your partner or maybe a close family member. And I'm certainly not saying don't not talk to your family members, but there's times where we're just not ready or we're trying to wait for the answers until we know what's going on or whatever it may be. So, and speaking of the partners, as amazing and lovely as most of the partners that support people on this journey are, they're not qualified in knowing what to say and what to do and how to support. And I see so many relationships break down in a way that they never expected because they just want to support each other, but yet they just don't really know how. This is really
Yeah.
like new territory for so many people.
For so many people, absolutely. And it's like they're going through their own processing of
Hmm.
this experience. And so it's hard to hold space for each other when you're going through it, both partners.
100%.
Yeah. And I feel like that is a really good segue into this beautiful new product offering that you have. So I learned about this. I'm on your newsletter, and I saw the newsletter come through, and I'm just so jazzed. But I will turn it over to you if you don't mind sharing about this new offering that can support people at any time.
Yes, so I'm super excited to announce Emerson to the world. And Emerson was the daughter's name that we were going to name our daughter if we ever had one.
I
So it was
wondered.
like a
Okay.
natural fit for when I started to build out Emerson in my hotel room in Vegas a few months ago. It was like a download. I
Yeah.
get goosebumps thinking about it
I
because it
have the
was
goosebumps
so
too.
magical. It really was this sacred intelligence that came to me of like, we have to do this. People are now shifting from Googling all the things and Facebook groups to now Chat GPT and what am I supposed to do with this and what does that look like? And really what Emerson is a Chat GPT. It is all downloaded with curated information from my sacred method to um, fertility fluency of all the medications, of all the things that you could potentially want to know. So she has the information that you need to hold your space of what it is that you're going through, but also bridges the gap with the sacred method, which is also my IP of the SACRED, which is a process that I take my clients through, and it alongside of all the physical stuff that I mentioned earlier. So the sacred space and support, the awareness and awakening. So we pull all of that in. So as Emerson answers your question in ChatGPT, she will also respond to how that looks in the breakdown of the sacred method. So it's very different than just randomly putting something in, because it also takes you back to your spirit babies and really soulful information. And that's why I call it sacred intelligence, because it really is downloaded with this beautiful holding of your space through this journey that I haven't seen any other chatbots that focus in fertility that are really doing it in this amazing, magical way that she's able to do it. And it blows my mind every time that somebody uses it, or I get feedback on it, because it's so accurate on both sides, again, about what the protocol that you may be needing to do versus also the where you need to hold the space for yourself right now, what it is that you're going through, how you need to give yourself the grace, how you should walk through that sacred method in order to help yourself get closer to where it is that you want to be that day. And again, what you put in at 8 in the morning may be very different than 11 o'clock at night, depending on what news you get that day, or if somebody had a pregnancy announcement at work, or whatever it may be. And she continues to hold the space in every aspect of the journey for you, even to pregnancy and getting ready to deliver, because anyone who's been on a fertility journey knows that it doesn't just stop when you get that positive pregnancy test. In fact, for some people, it becomes more intense because you're afraid of the loss or afraid of what might happen. And Emerson continues to hold that through the whole process of recommending doctors. You can even get so granular as to, I want to see a specialist on X, Y, and Z in this area. Can you help me find the right one that also approaches things from a holistic perspective, but is an MD, and really trying to find those curated people that can help narrow that path that might be exactly what you need specifically. So yeah, that's a little bit about scratching the surface. It's like this whole new world, right, of all the things. And when we put again, the curated information, so that it's a little bit, not a little bit, but it's very different from generally going onto Google or generally going onto any sort of open AI platform, because it is super curated into anything that you may see that comes from us. And at the end of that, there's always a prompt. How do you feel after this chat? Do you feel better? Or are you still feeling not so great? Do you want to chat with Elizabeth directly? Here's more information, and or it connects you with me directly if you're really feeling like that didn't do it. Like, I'm just at a really low point and I can't take it anymore. Like, I need to connect with the human behind this. So yeah.
How beautiful is that bridge? I feel like that was really intentional where, AI obviously is such a beautiful tool and it can do so much. And yeah, you have that bridge too to come back to the human connection. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot, it's a new area for so many people, right? There's a lot of unknowns still of what is this going to look like? And is AI taking over our world? And is it a beautiful gift for us? Or is it something that's not and has really bad energy behind it? And I mean, I've done a lot of work with spiritual people. Even, every week I'm connecting with somebody that's on that level that is also in this world of AI. And we have all said it's really the intention behind the people that are putting it out there. So if you're working with somebody or you're aligned with somebody who has a chatbot that you're working with, to know, like, does that feel aligned for you? Does that feel good for you? Or does it feel icky? We all know that expansion and contraction that we feel in our body. That's the same with anything here too. Why it feels different, I think, at times for people is it's interacting with us different than Google would, right? For Google, you can continue to go down the rabbit hole, but there's no checking in on you, so to speak, right? It's just taking you to link after link after link. And the difference with chat in general but specifically with Emerson, she'll continue to check in with you to say, how are you feeling about this? Do you need to take a pause? Let's get back to the sacred method. And the sacred method, again, as much as the S through the D are, they remain the same. What is within that is different for every single person's journey and
Mhm.
where they're at and what their history is. And it's up to you of how much you want to share into Emerson or not. And none of the information stays locked into that chat, so it's private and all the things. So it's not a matter of like, is my personal information going to get leaked out there? No, it's not. So it's all a new world, and I think being open and curious and feeling for everybody individual, does this feel good for me, or am I not quite ready for this? But
Yeah.
our world is definitely going that direction. So
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful tool. I feel like with fertility, we have a lot of tools, and this one feels really specific to the journey of support. So giving it, that only Elizabeth King energy you can give it of like, here's all the data, here's all the support, and like let's let this tool run with it. I think is such a beautiful curation, and I'm so glad that it's arrived and it's here. It's been born in a
yes,
way.
yeah, that is,
Yeah.
she was born March 31st. And um, because of, I'll never forget when I was trying to conceive with my last son, we were in a Starbucks and there was somebody that had an Emerson sweatshirt on. And I said to my husband, it's a sign, like, right? We're going to have, our girl is going to be coming this time, And obviously Branson was born and it was a boy, but I really did feel like it all worked out the way it was meant to be. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds so corny of whatever, but this Emerson is going to be helping change the lives of so many people who can now get out of some of those forums and Facebook groups that,
Yeah.
as much as they're helpful, it can also hurt us. I always say we can't undo information and unsee things that are not good for us. And we sometimes diagnose ourselves based on what is happening with Susie Q. And within Emerson, like, she's such a sacred space and sacred intelligence to help people through it. I really know that this is just going to be changing so many lives for the better on their fertility journey. So I'm really excited that my Emerson ended up coming in a way that I didn't expect. And 5 years later, but she's here.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I have the full body chills. For me, it is always a spiritual journey with fertility, bringing new souls in. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
And this feels so beautifully aligned with that aspect of the journey and really modern at the same time. We
Yeah.
can't deny that we're alive right now for a reason. And
Right.
and this feels um like it really addresses that need of that late night, like I feel a certain way and I need support right now. And then you have it in your pocket. So can you walk me through a little bit how somebody would use it? Is it an app? How do they get it?
It's built into their own, well, it would be built into your own chat GPT. It's a subscription link. So you purchase that. We send you the link and then it verifies you. So every time you would get on to chat, instead of now, because you're logged in with your Google account or whatever, it would just go on. It would say, hey, beautiful, how are you today? How can I support you? Can you put in your email address so I can verify you? And then it verifies on the back end, it authenticates your email address, and then you start your chat. So it's private in that way, that it's not just open to everybody who's on it, that it is verified by who's been, wanting access to that. And then we have like a private podcast where you get the link through Hello Audio.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Mhm.
Is the podcast an extension of this service? Like, or that's just a one-time podcast?
It's just a one-time podcast to help people walk through, to say, like, this is how here's the link for Emerson, first of all, and then here's how to use it if you're still kind of uncertain. And to answer that question that you asked, it looks different for everybody. So we even have coaches that are using it now, saying, like, I have a client and I'm not really sure how to answer this and what's going on with them. And it pulls up potential conversations that you can have with them or directions of what you can do, because all of the Fertility Coach Academy course is also in there. So all the information is pulling from curated information there as well. So, for example, a client might use it and say, I am on Depo-Lupron and I just came home from my doctor's office. I'm not really sure why I'm supposed to be on this. I thought that I had this instead. And it'll run down and say, okay, these are some potential reasons why they may have you on it. And if you still feel like that is not aligned with what you are thinking of why you're on it, then here's some questions that you should go back and ask your doctor today to question that. Versus also if somebody's trying to get pregnant naturally, I'm, been trying for 6 months, it's still not working, I'm doing this, this, and this, that will really bring in the sacred method pretty heavily because Emerson will also ask, have you gotten checked out? Has your partner gotten checked out, right? Again, we want to eliminate the fact that there's anything physically wrong. And then once that is, then she'll go into really how you can create the sacred space for yourself to open yourself up with your feminine energy, with your spirit baby, having those conversations and really go down that direction and help you figure out what else potentially might you need to be doing that's different. Are you over supplementing? Do you need to take some other supplement that you're not currently taking? So it's basically a coach on chat.
Yeah.
And you can continue to have that information just in your pocket, on your phone, on your desktop, however you're comfortable to do that. But then again, if you come up against questions where you're like, something's still not feeling right for me, and you feel like, I just want to do a gut check with Elizabeth or somebody else, you have those questions to ask from Emerson that will tell you, okay, this is the direction that I suggest that you're going in.
Awesome.
And there's
So
no shame around any of it, which I love. Like there's no age, you're close to 35 or you're over 40, so you better watch out. Like there's none of that. So it's all really, awesome, feel good stuff to come away with, but at the same time, data driven and science driven based on everything that we have known to date.
So it's so awesome. It just sounds really well rounded. And, as a fertility coach or as a fertility doula, like that is the space where you're at, where you go to a doctor's appointment and then you have this information, and you have all these questions, and you're getting the information from your doctor, which is really important, but there's all these other aspects. And so Emerson is really filling that need to have a sounding board, but with qualified information. And I'm really optimistic about the potential of it.
Thank you. Thanks. Me
Yeah.
too.
Is there anything else you want to share about the product or who should be using it?
Well, it's funny. I think who should be using it is everybody really who's going through their fertility journey, right? Even if you're thinking, we're not quite ready to get pregnant yet, but we're thinking about getting pregnant and I don't know what to do. Maybe I've been on the pill for a while and I need to figure out getting off the pill and what that's going to look like for me. So in that regard, it's pretty open to everybody, all the way down, like I said, through surrogacy, IVF, et cetera. So it kind of runs the gamut. The people that I see that do best with it, I would say, are the ones that are currently already using ChatGPT or some other open AI form. So they're super familiar with how to use the prompts, what to use, how to integrate with it. In fact, I was with a client yesterday who is 38, and she was saying that she uses chat for everything in her life, basically. And I'm like, this is why Emerson is so perfect for that type of person, right? It's like her relationship situation, everything that she's doing, she's putting it through chat. So it's basically like you take your regular information that maybe you would put in your general chat GPT and you would put it into Emerson so that you're, again, getting it specifically for your fertility journey.
So, so neat. So if you are on a fertility journey, no matter what it looks like, it's going to look different for everyone. How can they get Emerson?
ElizabethKing.com on my website, on our Instagram at the official Elizabeth King. We're going to be talking about her for quite a while, and of course, there'll be updates too. So that's the other thing. The link may change or will change over time. So as I get more information and as I continue to update, the link will change. So you may come into a situation where you logged in yesterday and you're like, oh, I'm not able to log in today. It's because it's been upgraded to version 1.2, 1.3, et cetera. So it's always good to keep good close tabs on what we're doing, because as more information comes into the industry and more education gets known, I mean, right now I'm really into mitochondria and how that shifts everything for our egg health. And there's a lot of research going on right there. And so as I get more information there, I continue to update Emerson as how that can go on to help everyone else with their fertility journeys as well. So all of those places, the podcast, Friends with Fertility, all over the place.
All over. And
Yeah.
if you can't seem to find it, the show notes will have it as well.
Yes, yes, yes,
We'll
yes.
link it there. Well, Elizabeth, I am over the moon for this. I always feel
Thank
like
you
the
so
more
much.
support available for women and men, the better, right? Like this journey is one that you should not be navigating alone. And this is such a beautiful offering. So thank you for creating it. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thank you for being so excited about Emerson as well. I really, truly appreciate that.
Any final thoughts?
Just to everybody who's on their journey, don't give up hope. As long as your desire is stronger than your fear, that pushes you to keep going. Find anyone out there that's willing and wanting to support you. There's so many people like Jess, myself, and thousands of other fertility coaches that want to be part of your journey and support you and are honored to be there. So don't hesitate to ask for help, because this is a short time in the big picture. Even though it feels super overwhelming, you will get through it. You will get to your miracle baby. It's just, it may not look like you originally thought, but you will get there.
So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having me.
Have you ever felt called to support women on their fertility journey, but didn't know where to start? Maybe you've been through infertility yourself, or maybe you just know you're meant to help heal others. That calling is real, and right now you can join me for a free webinar where I'll teach you what a fertility doula really does and why it matters now more than ever. You'll learn how to start and grow your own practice even if you have no medical background, and why this work is changing the lives of women around the world. Save your spot now at herfertility.support/webinar, and let's create a wave of fertility support together.